It's time to talk tech. So glad Dan Ives is with us, Managing Director, Equity Research at Wedbush Securities. This is an exciting day to have you on, Dan Ives, because Zscaler is killing it. Apple at new highs. I mean, we have plenty to discuss. Let's start with Zscaler, which you're really noting is the best pure play in the cloud security arena. And all of the recent hacks from the Colonial Pipeline to SolarWinds, you just see more and more need for this type of company. Tell me about why you're so optimistic on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a golden age for cybersecurity. I think we're going to see that over the next 3 to 6 months. It's already played out, but Zscaler, best pure play out there. Now, if you get the stocks trading off a bit in terms of sort of expectations going in, I think this is a $400 plus stock as we go into the next year. And I think what's really starting to happen is more is shifting to the cloud. And names like Zscaler, CyberArk, Tenable, and others are really benefiting from that. I think this is a theme that's going to continue to play. I think it's a subsector of tech that's probably going to be the biggest outperformer over the next year.
Yeah, because you have your Ives ETF. Is Zscaler in there?
So Zscaler is not in my Ives ETF, which is more of that pure play cloud ETF. It's in another ETF, that hack ETF, which is, I think, probably the best pure play way to play cybersecurity, at least from an ETF perspective.
Right. And so overall, I mean, do you think that Zscaler is doing something so different than its peers? What is it? I mean, I saw the numbers that, you know, when you were talking about the jaw-dropping numbers, 60% revenue growth, 70%, I'm rounding, billings growth, right? And really surprising Wall Street by more than 20% on the upside in that area. What is it about Zscaler that stands out and why you have a $400 12-month price target? You really see this upside potential?
Yeah, I mean, Jay Chandri, CEO, founder of Zscaler, when he built this, I mean, I'm going back even a decade, it was one where he was only focused on the cloud. Remember, today, cybersecurity, most of that really still sits on premise. He built the whole sort of platform around more and more data applications and use cases in the cloud. So they're really the only pure play platform cloud name out there that focuses on this. So you talk about share, large scale zero trust, they're really the one that continues to, I'd almost say a lot of these are almost non-competitive deals. You're going to have more zero trust plays come out over the coming year after Zscaler. When we talk about valuation, I mean, I think Zscaler is one, even if I look back, it's still in that early innings of playing out. 70% billings growth was just bananas relative to expectations.
Right. I mean, it really is unbelievable. And sometimes that just goes into investing in the leadership company, right? I mean, you always talk about Tesla and how much you love Tesla. I mean, that clearly has been the leader in electric vehicles. I think we've talked about Uber. Uber always, even though they have Uber Eats and, they seem to be more of the leader in the group. Is that sort of a theme? I mean, are you still hot on Tesla, for example?
Well, that continues to be our theme over the last 5, 6 years, and it's not going to change going into next year. Because I think you do have to play in terms of a basket, especially when it comes to cybersecurity, cloud. Microsoft continues to be our top name there in terms of cloud, as well as DocuSign and others. But when I look at Tesla, I mean, I think what's starting to happen now, the capacity is starting to scale. So now we go into the next year. That's where I think this name kind of hits its next leg of growth with Berlin coming on board, with Austin. That's how we have a 1,400 base, 1,800 bull case. Remember, it's not just a zero-sum game. It's not just Tesla. You're going to have Lucid, GM, Ford get re-rated, VW, and others as we go into this green tidal wave.
1,400 and 1,800 as the bull case. So the idea here is that on these pullbacks, on these days, for example, Friday and yesterday, those are the days that you would get in and add to your positions in some of these names? Is that what you're saying? You're not as worried about inflation or rate hikes or things like that?
I mean, look, over the last decade, I've seen too many times. I used to be next to an economist in their office. I'd come out every day being like stagflation, inflation. I have to sell all my stock, but yet in terms of tech stocks, Nasdaq's gone from 5 to 16,000. So I never view these periods as times to panic. It's times you double down on your tech winners, I still have a 19,000 target for next year. We've hit our 16,000 Nasdaq target this year. And to me, it's still what's going to be just a massive re-rating in tech stocks as we go into next year. Also, with the semi shortage now starting to alleviate, that's why Apple continues to be green even yesterday in the sea of red.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. I mean, tech was tumbling and Apple manages to pull through. I mean, there's always the theme of don't short Apple in the fourth quarter because everybody wants something Apple for the holidays. But they continue to pump everything out despite the chip shortage. And in fact, the suppliers give Apple a little head start, right? I mean, that's a big client.
Well, it's a safety blanket name in a volatile market. But I think the other thing is from a supply perspective, we're starting to see that alleviate. And I think they sold 10 million iPhones based on our analysis over Black Friday weekend. I think 40 million between Black Friday weekend and year end. That would be a record by almost 15% what we've seen with iPhone. So it's another example where you could become maniacally focused on supply chain and macro, but then you watch Apple go from 140 to 170 in the course of 2 months. So, I think we go into next year, it's a $3 trillion market cap.
I know, you always say that. And you're looking for NASDAQ 19,000. So on a day, and I talk about the economy. I play an economist on television from time to time, but I'm not an economist. I'm not here to tell you to sell your stocks like the guy you used to sit next to. Tell me, Dan Ives, on a day you started to say, we're buying on the dips. So on a dip day, like what we've seen, because we may see some more volatility with this Omicron variant, people might get spooked or some shutdown might spook folks. And there may be another sell-off day sooner than later. What are the 2, 3, 4, 5 things that you would say, buy some of this, buy some of that?
I think there's 3 areas you want to buy. It's cybersecurity basket, Zscaler, CyberArk, Tenable, Palo Alto, Fortinet. You want to own cloud on dips. You buy Microsoft, DocuSign, names like Nice Systems and Pega. And then you want to play EV. And it's not just Tesla. Tesla continues to be our top pick. GM and Ford on the re-rating. Names like Li-Cycle, which is, what I view as kind of a re-rating names. Lucid, as well as even names like Canoe. I think those are really, they're baskets you got to put together. When you have days like that, that's where you sort of double down and get some of these stocks cheaper.
Thank you so much, Dan Ives. I have some breaking news on Moderna, so I can't delve into some of those picks more, but I love when you're on. Thank you.
Thanks
Wedbush's Dan Ives. Thank you always.